Coach Mike Montefusco coming to you from Raw Fitness, where results live. Want to talk to you today about building a better booty. It's funny, you know, we have a lot of clients here at Raw Fitness that we serve, and very early in a lot of their experience training with us at Raw Fitness, they're like, hey, what's the big deal about people's glutes? You guys are always talking about the glutes here. Squeeze your glutes, use your glutes, so on and so forth. And there's a few reasons that we are pretty serious about training people's butt here. I think the first one, just from a health standpoint, we live in a sedentary society where people are sitting down for long periods of time in their car, driving at a desk, whatever, and neurologically, the signal to use our gluteal muscles becomes dormant for a lot of people. So their butt just kind of stops working, or we call it glute amnesia. So we have this person who wants to come in and squat or deadlift or do lunges or any type of lower body exercise, or even a lot of core exercises, and their glutes are not a part of the equation. Well, that could result in back problems, knee problems, hip problems. There's a whole bunch of things that can go on if your glutes are not working. So as far as for an injury prevention standpoint, and just to make someone function better, we got to get the glutes going. The second reason is most people will tell me that they'd be okay with the fact if their butt looked better than it currently does now. So from an aesthetic purpose, glutes can become a pretty appealing looking body part. So people like for us to train their glutes here. And then the third reason that we train the glutes is because it actually is the strongest muscle in the human body. It has the potential to be the strongest muscle. So if you are looking to get stronger and that's one of your goals and you want to function better, like you need to use your glutes. If they're not working, you're not going to get all that strong. If you are, like I said, you're leaving yourself open to injury, or if you're an athlete, you want to sprint faster, it's the sprinting muscle. I mean, have you guys ever seen the 100-meter sprinters on the Olympics? You know, these guys are like, you know, they've got glutes for days, but they can run really, really fast. So athletes who want to run faster want to train the glutes. So I want to talk to you about a few different exercises we use here to train people's glutes so that you can get a better booty for whatever reason you may have. Okay? So first one is what we call a glute bridge, and we do these in warm-ups a lot for people, but you can do sets and reps of them too. A glute bridge, finished product looks like this. I'm going to lay on my back. Okay? I'm going to take my heels and I'm going to put them directly under my knees, and then I'm going to kick them out about 6 inches. I'm going to pull my toes up to my shins, and I'm going to squeeze two muscles. Number one, I'm going to brace my abs so I don't hyperactivate my back. So I'm going to squeeze my abs like I'm ready to get punched in the stomach, and I'm going to squeeze my butt muscles, or like we like to cue here, like you're trying to grab a potato chip between them. So you're going to squeeze your butt like trying to grab a potato chip between your cheeks, and you're going to push through your heels using your glute muscles to raise your hips up, and we're looking to achieve a straight line from the shoulders straight through the knee. Neck should stay relaxed, good 2-second squeeze at the top, and then lower under control. Squeeze, squeeze, push through heels, up, 1,000, 2, 1,000, and down. You should have the sensation that your butt is clenching, and neurologically you can start to feel a little bit of a burn in it. If you don't, you probably need some other measures to get you there, but for most people this is a great glute activation drill, and it works really, really well to start getting the butt working. So we put those in warm-ups for everybody. The second exercise we do is we use mini bands here, right? So glutes have different functions. They can extend the hip, they can abduct the hip, or they can rotate the hip, rotate the femur, okay? So we use mini bands because it hits on a few different planes of motion that will give us a full functioning glute. So we put these bands around, and these bands are relatively inexpensive. We sell these here at Raw Fitness for $5, but if you mention this YouTube video, and you want to stop in and get a band, if you mention the YouTube video or saw this on Facebook, you can come in and we'll sell you a band for $2.50. So a lot of bang for your buck there. What we tell people to do is to find an athletic stance where they will have their feet about shoulder width apart. We're going to send their butt back and bend their knees so their back's nice and flat and their toes face straight ahead. From there, they take a long step out and a short step in. A long step out and a short step in. We don't want to hyper arch the back. We don't want to turn your toes out at all, and we don't want to let your feet get close together. So it would be long, short, moving side to side, keeping that back nice and flat, and you'll start to feel your glutes work. Okay? So that's one variation. Once they do side to side, and we'd say, hey, do 15 paces one way, 15 paces another way, we'll do what's called linear walks, which hit the glutes a little differently. So now I'm going to face this way, and I'm going to walk, and I'm going to take steps just in front of my toe line every time, keeping width and keeping my heels out, or not letting my toes turn out. Okay? 15 paces forward. Then we'll have them do 15 paces backwards. And you will start to notice that your butt is starting to scream a little bit. All right? After we do our bent knee variations, we also have straight leg variations, which work the glutes differently. So now I'd be up tall. We tell people just a 10-degree bend in the knee, up tall, and you can do the same thing. Now we're working on that abduction type of movement. So the glutes are starting to fire. And those can also be done laterally or linearly, like so. So that would be a glute bridge and their mini band walks. And I got a couple other exercises that I'm excited to show you after that. Okay, so I mentioned that the glutes are also a great rotator. The rotational fibers of the glutes are kind of the ones down in the corner here, right? Where the extension ones would be kind of here and on top. To build this like lower corner, to fill that out glute-wise, you need to train the rotational fibers of your glute max. So this is an unconventional drill when you don't see people using a lot to train their glutes, but it's very, very effective. I'm using a cable machine. You can use a band coming off a column of some sort, went horizontally, but this is easy, so I'm going to stay right here at the Kaiser. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this with my arms extended, and the band should be pretty parallel to my chest. From there, what I'm going to do is I'm not twisting with my upper body. I'm going to take my trail leg, and I'm going to take the arch of my foot, and I'm going to push that foot into the ground and squeeze that glute, and use that glute to rotate my hip. Right? So my arms are going along for the ride because the hip is making my torso turn. You should feel that glute. Remember to work the way out and the way back nice and slow and controlled. Work the way out and the back, you'll get much better results with it. So here's a standing band hip external rotation. That's glute exercise number 3. All right, our final glute exercise, number 4 for this video. Obviously there are many, many other approaches to take that we use here, but I just want to cover 4. It's called the barbell hip thrust. I will say this is a pretty advanced exercise, so if you like glute bridging and things like that are new to you and you can do 3 sets of 10 and you're really feeling that, then adding a barbell to that is probably not the best idea. You also do need to have a relatively stable core so that your spine stays safe during this exercise, and I'll explain what I mean. To do this, you'll need a barbell, some plates. It helps if you have bumper plates, so even if you go lighter, the bar is still a certain height off the ground, or you can elevate smaller plates on steps on the side so that you can get this bar, you can get underneath the bar. You also need, this is a Hampton thick bar pad. You can buy this on Amazon, or you can use like an Airex pad, or there's something called a squat sponge that also works as padding, because otherwise you'll be pretty uncomfortable with where the barbell's laying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up with my upper back against the bench, and I'm going to take this bar and I'm going to bring it all the way to my waist, and then I'm going to bend my knees so that when my hips come up, my heels should be relatively underneath my knees. Now from here, I'm going to kind of use my upper back and my arms to get me solidly on this bench. Now my shoulder blades are laying on it. Again, I'm going to keep my abs tight, my butt tight so I don't arch at my back, and my neck is going to stay in line with the spine as I drive through my heels and raise the bar up. I continue to hold it with my hands for stability. As my butt goes down, my head looks forward, and then I'm going to go into the next rep. Okay? What's cool about this exercise is you can get freaky, freaky, freaky strong with it. I know several people that 300-400 pounds on a hip thrust is not outside of their comfort zone or outside of their norm. So this, if you're really looking to slap some meat on there and get your glutes a lot stronger, this is a great way that you can progress it and get your glutes stronger than any squat or deadlift would be able to do. So that's exercise number 4, barbell hip thrust. Again, Mike Montefusco at Raw Fitness. I hope that you've enjoyed the post today.